Welcome to Rebel Chaser. My name is Gail, and I've got several videos for you tonight. The first one is with Judge McNally. Then there's two from Judge DeSoto. There's one from Conneaut, and then there's three special ones from Judge Chisholm. I'll let you guys watch.
Virginia Ann Swindle versus Tracy Lynn Linville. 2-4-0-2-6-7-6. I gotta tell you, this case has not been a pleasure. One shows up, then the other one doesn't, then the other one does, then the other one doesn't. I've never seen anything like this. Your name, ma'am?
Tracy Linville.
Your name, ma'am?
Virginia Ann Swindle.
Why weren't you here on May the 20th? You know how many times you guys have not shown up on this? It's ridiculous.
I thought once the motion was denied, it was over. I'm sorry.
You were show-caused because you didn't show up for a creditor's exam. Is that not what happened on this, Jennifer?
It is, Your Honor.
Yeah,
And then I believe at the last date,
I gave her a judgment of $31,3750. I gave her that back on December 3rd. This has been going on since I was young, presumably. I mean, it's been going on a long time for a small claims case. We're fooling around with this almost a year later. What is going on? You have your documents that you can show her as to where you work and your tax returns and everything else that you're supposed to bring?
I have to show her my.
Yeah. She's got a judgment against you. You haven't been paying her, have you?
I don't want to give her my bank information.
Well, she's entitled to it.
That's his need.
Yeah. She has a judgment against you for $3,137.50. $313,750. I entered that December 3rd. You guys, I've never quite seen anything like this. You didn't appear for a creditor's exam on April 21, so I issued a show cause. And then you didn't show up plaintiff for the show cause on May 20 when she showed up late. And I rescheduled it for 10. You need to go get your documents. Where was I don't see the subpoena in here, Jen.
I'm sorry, Judge, we may have misprinting it. It was originally April 21st at 9:30.
You need to go get those documents today. I'm done with this case today.
I don't
Okay?
understand what documents you want.
We're gonna.
Judge, she indicated on the subpoena she wanted her social security number, bank account information, and job employment.
This is what, well, then you're gonna end up in jail.
I give it to the court.
Listen. You're gonna end up in jail then.
This is a swindler.
Ma'am, don't call her names now. I gave you every opportunity to prove to me that you had insurance. That's past history. We're not even going back into that now. Jennifer, I don't know how long it's gonna take her. Ms. Linville's gonna wait here until, Ms. Swindle's gonna wait here until Ms. Linville goes and gets all the information on that show cause, and I expect you back today. Do you understand?
I have my account number. I don't know what else you want.
Jen, do you have your tax returns? What did she ask for specifically?
I didn't have it.
I don't have it here. What did she ask for?
She filled out item 3 and said needs her social security number, bank account information, job-employment.
Where do you work?
I work for a contract company, ISG. I have a W-2 for that.
Okay, you still work for them?
Yes.
Have you paid her a penny on this?
No.
Why?
I haven't even seen her.
You owe her money. And you need to pay her.
I can pay some money today.
How much can you pay today? Half?
I'm sorry?
Can you pay half?
No, I can get like 300.
She can garnish your wages. That's what we're coming to now. You can't do this.
I thought I was bringing you the information, not.
I'm gonna, Ms. Linville, Ms. Swindle, give me the installment payment order. No, the order. Jen, I want you to, what else do you have? Did you bring any of the other documents?
I don't have any other documents. I have a bank account, a checking account, and
Did you bring all that information with you?
I have that information. Yes. That's what has $300 in.
All right, but you're gonna have to pay 300 today. But the point is that she's entitled to that information. So she can garnish your bank accounts, garnish your wages. I know you let this go too far. Why are you shaking your head?
Because it was dismissed 3 times and then denied.
You didn't show up on the actual hearing date.
Fourth one.
Look, but, you guys have alternated. I don't want anybody to misunderstand me. You guys have alternated not showing up, it seems like. But there were 2 or 3 times in a row, Ms. Linville, when you didn't show up. And you got nobody to blame but yourself. I'm trying to think how I want to do this. Jen, can we,
Yes, Judge.
I've got enough to do right now. I don't need to be sitting here conducting a creditor's exam. I'm gonna swear you in, okay? Ms. Swindle, do you know what's going on here?
Yes, just the fact that we can get some kind of results, like, when I came last time, the people was all saying, okay, I'm just hoping it could get to that.
All right, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear affirm the testimony you will give in these proceedings will be the whole true self you got. I can't hear you.
Yes,
Okay, so you have your checking account information.
yes.
Where do you bank?
It's Michigan Educational Credit Union
Where's that located?
in Livonia.
Okay, do you have a check stub?
No.
Do you have your account one?
Yes,
Do you have a savings account?
no,
Nowhere?
No.
Do you have any other checking accounts?
no.
And you work, I hope you're listening to this, Ms. Swindle, because you're gonna have to follow up. Where do you work?
I work for ISG, which is a contract company.
And where are they located?
I believe they're in Farmington Hills, but I actually work right in Freeman.
Where is the address that you work at?
I don't have the address on me. I could get it.
You don't, how long have you been working?
Well, I don't get paid by them. I
Do you go into an office?
to a laboratory.
How long have you been working?
Since November.
You don't know what the address is?
I've never had to use it. I'm sorry. Oh, you know what? I do have a contract company because I got my W-2.
Okay, so we'll make a copy of that for you, ma'am. Listen, I'm gonna set her up on an installment payment plan. You can ask her any other questions. Do you have any bonds,
No.
stocks,
No,
mutual funds? I can't hear you. Do you own any real estate?
no,
Do you own any other assets other than what's in your checking account?
just my broken car. That's it.
Well, you live at 1787, right, Churchill?
Parents' house.
Are they still alive?
No,
Do you own the house?
It's up in court right now.
What is
My
that?
brother and my sister and me,
All three of you own it?
yes. I would love to do a payment plan.
Well, I don't mind doing that for you, but how much can you afford to pay per week?
125, 500 a month.
All right, let me do this. Ms. Swindle, do you still live on Terry Street?
Yes.
That's 14564, correct?
Correct.
And again, the zip there is 48227, correct?
Yes.
You're gonna have to provide her, Jennifer, I'm gonna send them down. I'm gonna have you provide Ms. Swindle with copy of the W-2, any other documents that Ms. Linville came here with. I'm going to simply indicate defendant filed an oral motion for installment payments on today's date. And you have a check for $300?
No, but I can do like Zelle payment or something of that nature. I don't have checks.
I thought you said you had a checking account.
It's a checking account. They
You
never
just
give me
use debit
checks.
cards and things like that?
Yeah.
How are you going to pay the 300?
I can do Zelle if she accepts Zelle. You know what I'm saying?
I have a bank account. There.
Where can you go to get the $300?
ATM.
Good. We got them right down in the hall. $300 today. And then I'm going to let her pay $100 every week. You get paid weekly.
Okay.
You said you could pay about $125.
Yes.
I'm going to say 100. And I'm going to start this beginning on June the 27th. Okay?
Yes.
So the staff's going to make copies of everything down there. And they're going to give you a copy of the the order for installment payments. Now, you can't garnish wages as long as she's making the payments. Okay? You could potentially garnish bank accounts. That's what the rule says. But if she's making the payments as agreed upon here, I don't see the reason. That's what I'm doing. You go down the hall, make copies of everything, give it to Ms. Swindle. Ms. Swindle, you wait for Ms. Linville to come back with the money, or you can use our ATM, but there's a fee. I don't know how much it is, all right? Good luck, thank you.
Okay, Drew, please unmute and turn on your camera. All right, thank you. We are on the record in the matter of Drew Cloutier, 24632A. And counsel, your appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Chris Prashemke, appearing on behalf of my client. This time we consent to the matter being heard via Zoom.
All right, Drew, your name for the record, please.
Drew, DREW. My last name is Cloutier, CLOUTIER.
Okay, and counsel, today's the date scheduled for probation violation for your client. Your client is currently on probation for operating while visibly impaired, which was reduced from operating while intoxicated. And it's alleged she tested positive for alcohol May 7th of 25. And counsel, what's happening today?
Your Honor, she will not be requesting a violation probation hearing. She'll admit to the violation.
All right, Drew, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give this man to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry?
I plead guilty.
Ma'am, Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you about to give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you heard the allegations, correct, ma'am?
I was low-key forced. If I didn't, I
No,
was.
Ms. Coltier, you're being asked yes or no questions. We'll get to the explanation part
Yes,
momentarily.
ma'am. Yes, sir. Um,
So ma'am, you heard
yes,
the allegations, correct?
yes, I did.
As to the allegation that you tested positive for alcohol, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And you've gone over your advice and rights for probation violation purposes with your client, with your attorney, correct?
Yeah. But I'm a
Yes?
very short person, to be honest.
What's that?
Nothing.
No, what did you say about a short person?
Never mind. That's fine.
Okay, and you understand that by entering into a plea today, that you'll be waiving some of those rights.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, and you understand the possible penalty in this matter, and the recommendation by the probation department is for you to continue and complete all terms of probation, pay a $50 probation violation fee, 30 days on the alcohol tether, 5 days jail suspended. Do you understand that that's the recommendation?
Can I not get in the jail suspension? I just
Want the
Can I
jail
not get-
suspended. It means that they won't put you in jail.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
I'm simply asking you if you understand what the recommendation is.
Okay. Can you repeat it for me one more time?
That your probation will continue and you have to complete all terms of probation. You pay a $50 probation violation fee, 30 days on the alcohol tether, and 5 days jail suspended. Do you understand that that's the recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
You also understand this court could adopt the recommendation in full, in part, or not at all.
I do.
Knowing all of that, do you want to continue with your plea?
Guilty.
So is that yes? You want to continue with your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anybody promised you anything, threatened you, or coerced you in any way for you to enter into a plea?
No.
All right, counsel, if you can please run to your client.
I'd like to direct your attention back to May 7th of 2025. Did you submit a test per probation order to test for drugs and
Yes.
alcohol?
Yes, I did.
And you will stipulate that the May 7th, 2025 test indicated use of alcohol, correct?
Yes.
That's because, in fact, you were basically coerced to drink by a significant other, but you understand that that is not a defense, it's an explanation, but you did put alcohol in your system in violation of your bond conditions, correct? Your probation
That is
conditions.
correct. I was in physical harm, but yes, that is correct.
Satisfied, Your Honor.
The court is also satisfied the plea is knowing, voluntary, and factually accurate. The court will accept your plea to the probation violation. Indicate technical violation number 1 will enter. And counsel, as to the recommendation.
Your Honor, I recommend they be adopted. I did speak with my client. I'm sure she wants to address the course. She was in a very tumultuous relationship that got very mental, if not physical. And at some point during the relationship, she was threatened to drink. And I understand that that's a bizarre situation. And I wish that there was a way that we could have advised her during that time to leave, call the police. But she has since discontinued that toxic relationship. She understands it's a violation, not coming in here with any excuses, not coming in here asking to not be held accountable. She understands, but that's why I believe the recommendations are appropriate, and I'd ask they be adopted. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, so ma'am, I'm slightly confused. You were forced to consume alcohol?
Yes, ma'am. He had been drinking himself. He had a couple shots, and then he asked me like, "Why can't you drink?" Like he was just like in his own world. And because I've spoken about my like me having probation, and he just kept going, and I let him know like, "Hey, I can't, dude." And then he said, "If you don't drink this right now."
Drew, you froze. Oh, never mind. Drew's back. Drew's back. All right.
I'm sorry, my phone had overheated.
Okay, we're back on the record. That's okay, ma'am. All right. And so what were you saying? And so I lost you at if you don't drink this.
if you don't drink this, I'm gonna beat you up. And his whole like demeanor changed. Like he didn't seem like he was playing. And he made me drink it. And then he just like left me alone about it after.
And so what did he make you drink?
Made me drink Jim Beam.
What
That's
is
what
it?
he had bought.
Shot?
That's his sister that night. So
What's that?
that's what he had bought with his sister that night.
Okay, so again, my question is, was it one drink, one shot, one sip? What were you forced to drink?
I don't know how much was in the cup.
You had to drink a whole cup?
Yeah.
So, and where were you when this occurred?
I'm sorry.
Where were you when this occurred?
At my address previously of my previous like housing. His address, home.
So,
Huh?
why didn't you just leave knowing that you couldn't drink any alcohol?
I'm
And
sorry.
behavior. Why
He
didn't you
was
just
cornering
leave?
me and being aggressive.
I'm sorry, I was
I
talking
thought
to
that
you.
drinking the alcohol would make it like him stop.
Ma'am,
Yes,
I was
ma'am.
still asking you a question, so I missed part of your answer. My question was, why didn't you leave based upon his threatening behavior and the fact that you were not allowed to use alcohol?
That was not my mental space. I didn't have anywhere else to go. I should have like just figured it out and just went like, somewhere, anywhere. Yeah. But
And so you've relocated and you're no longer in that relationship?
no, ma'am. I'm living with my sister.
Okay, and you've notified probation of your new address?
I'm sorry.
You've notified your probation officer of your new address?
No, ma'am. I haven't yet.
So when did you move?
I moved about 4 days ago.
Okay, well, make sure you're doing that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
The court's going to adopt the recommendation. You're to continue and complete all terms of probation, 30 days on the alcohol tether, 5 days jail suspended. So if you don't violate anymore, you won't have to serve that jail time. If you violate again, you will have to serve that jail time.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're gonna have you email into your probation officer by 11. And she can give you the information regarding the tether, and you can give her your new address.
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am. Thank you, have a good day. All right, let's go off the record.
Possibility that I would be able to eventually get off of like probation early.
Well, ma'am, you can't now because you just had your violation. You have to go for at least 3 months without a violation. You could have at the 6-month mark, it
I'm
appears.
sorry, I couldn't hear you. My alarm went off on my phone.
You would have been available, you potentially would have been eligible at the 6-month mark. But now that you have this violation, you have to wait. You can't request early discharge until at
I have
least 3 months.
everything pretty much finished. I'm sorry to
Ma'am, I'm
interrupt.
talking. Stop interrupting me, please. I was still talking.
Yes, ma'am. My
So
phone is also lagging.
now that you've had this violation, you will probably have to go until the end of your probation, which I believe is August,
This is
correct?
literally drowning me though. I make $12 an hour. I can barely afford myself a home. I'm currently looking for another job. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to pay y'all. I'm trying to do what I can. This is literally the whole reason why I was in that situation, dude. Like I'm literally I need to do something. I've been doing volunteer work. I've gotten like 8 hours out of like 70, whatever. I believe it's 72 that you requested. I've been looking for another job, okay? That's like more beneficial to my financial situation.
All right, can you give me that, give me your file, please?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
So, let's see, ma'am, you were sentenced August 21st of 2024. And when this court sentenced you, ma'am, the court ordered 75 hours
Okay.
and to clear up your warrant. And in fact, this court ordered mandatory incarceration for any violation. And I didn't send you to jail today, I suspended that jail.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Have you completed the chemical awareness program?
Yes, I finished it. I finished everything except for my volunteer work and my payments.
Okay. Well, ma'am, did you set up your payment plan through probation?
Yeah, I've only paid like $50 though.
What was your monthly payment?
We didn't really set one. I was trying to just put in what I could each month, but
Ma'am, I understand that funds could be tight, but even if you send in $10, that shows that you're still making an effort.
Thank you.
But you've only paid $50 on your $1,450 balance since August.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm
That
sorry.
doesn't change the diligent effort.
I also only make $12 an hour.
Okay.
Not since August. I have been trying to look for another job though.
Okay. So,
I was making $15 an hour, and then I was in management $18 an hour. And then I ended up getting this job because I couldn't live over there anymore, and it was 30 minutes away. Transportation is not. It's so.
okay. So, ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
have you cleared up your warrant out of Tennessee yet?
No, ma'am. I have no way of like affording that though either.
Have you contacted the court?
Yes, multiple times. I've tried Zoom. I've tried, hey, can we negotiate something just to figure out, something? They said no. They said basically I just have to turn myself in, then I'll get a court date. That's just how it is.
Okay. Okay, well, ma'am, the court ordered 15 months probation, so at the 7.5 month mark, you would have been eligible, but this violation is here now, so you have to wait at least 3 months to make sure that all the other conditions are.
I literally have to go through 3 more months of drug testing, $20 each time I go. Like, that's okay. I will though, because it's court ordered and I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to mess up my life. Just trying to fix it.
Okay. And ma'am, you've not been brought before the court for non-payment as a violation. So, and I didn't send you to jail today, even though I ordered.
But this also country really does suck because, I don't know, dude. I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay. Yes, I understand that now. I did not know that. I was not aware of that, and I apologize.
All right. Please email in to Ms. Shaw by 11 o'clock.
I'm sorry.
Please email into Ms. Shaw by 11 o'clock.
Giving her my address, my new address.
Yes, you're going to email into her. You're going to give her your new address, your new employment place, and to get the other information that you may need. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You as well.
Off the record. We're on the record in the matter of the state of Michigan for Alexandros Papadopoulos, 25521.
Good morning / afternoon, Your Honor.
Good morning.
May it please the court, George Kyriazakos representing Mr. Papadopoulos, who is to my left.
Thank you. And Mr. Papadopoulos, your name for the record?
Alexandros Papadopoulos, Your Honor.
Okay. And so today's date is scheduled for sentencing in this matter. And this was originally scheduled for June 3rd. However, I was out for a death in the family, and I'm going to address something before we go into anything else. So Ms. Shine, who had conducted the pre-sentence interview with Mr. Papadopoulos, had notified your client on May 30th that the June 3rd date was going to be adjourned. Is that correct so far, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And at that point, in the phone call, your client apparently didn't like that. He was upset with that. And he became extremely angry when it wasn't being changed back to June 3rd. Is that also accurate at this point, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
So then, Mr. Papadopoulos continued indicating that he wanted a new probation officer. And when he was informed he wasn't on probation yet, Mr. Papadopoulos responded to my probation officer with, what are you, a super, who is his PO Shine then? Is that also accurate?
Yes, Your Honor.
So then Ms. Shine explained to your client that she was doing the pre-sentence interview but he wasn't on probation yet. And then he continued to yell and use profanity, calling her an idiot multiple times. Is that also accurate, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
So Ms. Shine continued to tell him that if he had any questions, he would contact you, counsel. And then your client indicated, you'll hear from my attorney, at which point she ended the phone call. Is that also accurate?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Let me be very, very clear, sir. You do not get to speak to my staff that way. At all. I don't know who you think you are, sir. But I am the only judge in this court. And when I have an emergency, such as a death in my family, you do not get to demand when your case is going to be heard. And you are given a courtesy notice. She called you in advance, as opposed to showing up that day and having to be rescheduled. And this is how you respond and react? %100% not okay. At all. Which tells me that you have some very, very deeply rooted anger issues, sir. Deeply rooted anger issues. And you do not know how to react or act in an appropriate manner when something doesn't go your way. I just wanted to make a record and start with that, counsel, because your client's behavior was abhorrent with my probation officer and will not be tolerated. I want you to be very, very clear on that, sir. So if this court adopts the recommendation, and if I place you on probation, and if you talk to my probation officer or any other staff member that way, you will be held in contempt, sir, and that will be a probation violation. Are we clear?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm not here to make any excuses for my actions. This whole process stresses me out, kind of frustrates me, but at the end of the day, Mrs. Shine was just doing her job. I shouldn't have taken any kind of anger out on her in any kind of way. So for that, I apologize to Probation Officer Shine and the courts as well.
Well, Ms. Shine is over in the probation department, so if you'd like to give her an apology in person, you certainly may do so.
I'd be more than happy to, Your Honor.
Court is now calling City of Conneaut versus Lolita Andrews, case numbers 25 TRD 471 and 25 TRD 416. Good morning. Ms. Andrews, did you understand all of the rights and plea options I explained to you earlier? Do you have any questions regarding those? Okay, there are two different cases here. Two separate citations that were issued. The first one was on May 14th of 2025 in the 416 case. The other one on June 3rd, 2025 in the 471 case. Did you receive copies of those citations that were issued in both cases? The charge in both cases there's one charge in each of the cases, and they're essentially the same charge. The charge is driving under suspension. which is a first-degree misdemeanor. That's the same charge in each case. And so in each case, you face a maximum 180 days in jail, a maximum fine of $1,000. I could suspend your license in each case for up to an additional 1 year. That's totally optional. So do you understand the maximum potential penalties you face if convicted of each of these charges? Sorry?
Yeah.
So if convicted, essentially if convicted of both charges, you face double the amount. 180 days times 2. 360 days maximum, $2,000 fine, and so forth. So do you understand the maximum potential penalties? Okay, so we're going to start with the oldest case first. That's 25 TRD 416. This is the driving under suspension charge on May 14th, 2025. How do you plead to that charge?
I have my license. They're valid.
Judge, you want to see that?
Okay.
I have to be on.
Okay.
I know, okay.
I understand where you're coming from, but right now I'm going to take this in baby steps. So first off, I need to entertain a plea. Okay. So right now I'm dealing with the
Guilty.
citation on May 14th, 2025. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
And to the charge of driving under suspension, a first-degree misdemeanor, in case number 25 TRD 471, this is the citation issued on June 3rd. How do you plead? You understand by pleading guilty to both of these charges that you are waiving your right to a trial, which includes your right to cross-examine witnesses and to confront evidence presented against you. You'd be waiving your right to testify or not to testify without any negative connotation. You'd be waiving your right to subpoena witnesses. You'd be waiving your right to a jury trial. You'd be waiving your right to be proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. All of those are trial rights you'd be waiving by pleading guilty to these charges. Is that what you would like to do?
Yes.
You'd also be waiving your right to an attorney. You do have a right to have an attorney represent and advise you in these cases. By pleading guilty, you would be effectively waiving your right to an attorney. Is that what you wish to do? Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or prescription medications that might affect your thinking?
No.
Ms. Andrews, you are facing up to 1 year in jail. These are questions I ask of everyone who pleads guilty to a jailable offense.
I take.
Okay, ma'am.
I do take medications every day.
Okay, so my question is, are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or prescription medication
Medications, yes, sir.
that might affect your thinking?
They don't affect my thinking, though.
Okay. Are you currently on probation, parole, community control, or post-release control with any court?
No.
Has anyone made any promises to you about what your sentence will be in order to induce you to plead guilty to these charges today?
No.
Are you thinking clearly and you understand everything that's happening?
I understand. I'm just a little frightened now, so I'm not understanding what's going on here.
Well, I don't know why you don't understand.
I know what I'm here for. The questions you're asking me, you didn't ask anybody else. You know what I mean?
because look, Ms. Andrews, think about it. Think about it, Ms. Andrews, and calm down. You're facing potential jail time, and you pled guilty.
Yes.
Did anyone before you do the same?
Yes,
No, they didn't face jail time.
but I do.
You do, which is why I'm asking you all the questions that I'm asking to ensure that you understand everything correctly and to ensure that you're waiving your rights. If you don't like it, Ms. Andrews, you can leave the courtroom and I'll set this case for a trial, and I won't accept your guilty pleas. So, do you understand what's happening, Ms.
Yes.
Andrews? Okay. Do you read and write English for the record?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to provide you two documents. They're the same document. They just have different case numbers on them because you have two cases. They are called Acknowledgement of Rights and Waiver of Counsel. Take a minute to read them. If you find them acceptable, you can sign and date at the bottom. If you have any questions about them, ask me before you sign them. Thank you. The court does find that Ms. Andrews has executed in open court the written waivers. The court does find the defendants pleas of guilty to both charges in each of these cases to be knowing, voluntary, and intelligent. The court will accept the guilty pleas, and I will therefore find her guilty of driving under suspension in each case. Okay, now Ms. Andrews, I'm about to impose sentence, and there's something you want to tell me before I impose sentence. So what would you like to tell me?
I have from the BMV.
So what about it?
It says valid. I don't know if that's anything you can use. I printed it out. That's all I did.
Do you have a license? Did they give you a license? So why were you under suspension in the first place?
I don't know. Only thing I can honestly think of is my insurance went up. I have to carry an SR22 until 2026, and I did not know that my insurance went up. So if that goes to the BMV with the SR22, I'm not sure how. Your Honor, I'm not sure how they even got suspended. All I do is go to work and go home.
Okay. Well, it does appear you are valid, which is, you become valid. How you've done that, apparently I'm looking at your abstract, and my deputy clerk did print an abstract for me today. It shows there's still an issue going on in Eastern County Court.
Jefferson.
In Jefferson.
I gotta go there Thursday.
There's also a warrant block here.
I don't know what that is.
That's on the 416 case. Yeah, you failed to appear for your initial appearance hearing back on June 3rd.
The 3rd, I got called into work early. I work in home health.
Well, I'll lift that warrant block. Okay, I'm not going to give you jail. I'm not going to put you even on probation. I'm just going to impose a fine in each case. $150 fine in each case. Total fines and costs are going to be, in both cases, $330, or I'm sorry, in each case, so roughly $630. The clerk will give the exact amount owed at the window. I'm making a finding today, Ms. Andrews, that even though you didn't provide proof of insurance to the officers in both cases, that you did provide proof of insurance to avoid you getting a license suspension again.
Thank you.
So, are you able to pay all fines and costs today?
No, Your Honor, I'm not. I can pay some on the 25th, and then if I can look at my calendar real quick. Just look at my payday here.
Okay, I'm gonna order that all fines and costs be paid. I'm just gonna give you 30 days. I'm gonna set a review hearing after 30 days. If you're not paid in full in 30 days, then you'll have to appear for that review hearing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Andrews, you can go to the clerk's window and they will take care of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Screen name is Jazzy Miles. That's Jasmine, I presume. It's a great nickname. And do we have? Ms. Miles, if you could unmute yourself and turn on your video, please. This is 25 BE 02411. Ticket was issued on the 10th of May, a couple of minutes after 9 in the morning. Area of Berkeley near 11 Mile and Mortensen. You were cited for speeding, 49 and a 30. You can admit or deny responsibility, or you can admit responsibility with an explanation. How do you wish to proceed?
I deny because I don't believe I was driving 49.
If you raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
I do.
I do.
The sergeant will testify first, please.
Your Honor, on May 10th at approximately 9:05 a.m., I was eastbound on 11 Mile near Mortensen when I observed a tan Dodge Caravan traveling westbound in the same area, traveling at what I estimated to be roughly about 50 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. Activated my front opposite direction radar. At that point, I obtained a speed of 49 miles per hour. I made a U-turn and pursued the vehicle, stopped the driver, who identified herself as Jasmine Miles. I issued a citation for doing 16 to 20 over, 49 and a 30. My radar was functional before shift and tested fine after shift. I am certified as a radar instructor and radar operator.
Thank you. Ms. Miles, it's your turn, man.
He said I was on a 49 and a 30. If that's the case, I would like to see the radar gun.
We're having some trouble hearing you.
I said I would like to see the radar gun. If he said he clocked me at doing 49 and a 30, I would like to see the radar gun.
You are not the trier of fact, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
No, I said you're not the trier of fact. This matter has been brought to court. You've heard the sergeant's testimony. I've heard the sergeant's testimony. You want to see the radar gun wouldn't tell you anything. If you saw a window on the gun that said 49 miles an hour, the next thing you'd say wasn't your car. So after the fact, what the radar gun reads is irrelevant. What is relevant is how it was read when it was measuring the speed of your vehicle. Do you want to testify to your speed?
Yes, because I don't believe I was 149. And if he clocked me on the radar gun should have my VIN number been accurate as 49.
You know, you're focusing your testimony on the radar unit, and you want to see it. You're saying it should have had your PIN number?
It should have my VIN. I don't know if you can hear me. Let me take this up.
I'm having some trouble hearing you, but that doesn't seem to be the major issue. Now it's better.
Okay.
I've heard you say that you want to see the radar gun. I've heard you say that you think the gun should have your PIN number on it.
Yes, I think it had my VIN number showing that there was an accurate reading of 49.
The radar gun does not read VIN numbers. It measures speed. The sergeant is certified not only to operate radar, but to teach radar operation to other police officers. He measured your speed because He looked at your car and he thought you were going too fast. Speed limit's 30. Saw you coming towards him. He thought at about 50. When he measured your speed, you were going about 50. You were going 49 when he measured your speed. And you haven't testified otherwise. You've just testified that you want to see the radar gun.
Yes, I would like to see the radar gun because I wasn't traveling 49 miles.
You don't have to be traveling 49 miles. The rate of speed was 49 miles per hour.
And that's how fast he said I was going in a 30 mile zone, 49. And I wasn't traveling 49 miles. That's why I said I want to see a radar gun that shows at that time I was 49 that he clocked me at.
The radar gun would not show the time. It would not show the vehicle. It would show the speed that the radar unit measured your vehicle at. And that speed was 49. And that's what he wrote you for. And I believe that's what you're responsible for. Sergeant is certified to operate it. He was operating the unit. He tested it before and after the shift. It worked at both ends. It didn't break and fix itself sometime in the middle. No ambiguity as to the target. The fine is $200. It can be paid online or by mail or at the courthouse counter.
I mean, because you guys are getting me for a speeding ticket and I wasn't going 49. I didn't hear you.
I said, we guys aren't doing anything. You were.
I mean, that's what I'm getting at.
By
Responsible
a measure
for
of the executive department, and you have brought it to court for the judicial department. It's not we guys. Pay your ticket. We're done.
So I'm just done with a ticket and I'm being held responsible for driving in a 49, driving 49, and I wasn't.
That is what you did.
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Now, the ticket that you just said I had to pay, I wanted to ask the question. Is there possible that even though I'm stuck with it, that I don't have any points added to my license?
No, the points come from the Secretary of State, not the court. So I can't tell the Secretary of State to impose fewer points or more points. They are exactly what the Secretary of State says they're going to be.
So it's not any way that you can move it from a speeding ticket to moving violation or something?
It is what it is, man.
Pleading traffic or something?
It is what it is. You denied responsibility. We had a hearing. There was a finding. That's the end of the matter.
So there's no way that you can move it to a lesser sentence?
No. It's not going to happen.
Okay. Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I was wondering, can I have a little time to pay the ticket off?
What kind of time do you need?
Equivalent like 35 to 40 days.
I can go 30 days.
That's fine. Could you tell me how much the ticket is, please?
This is this month. We're checking that. Oh, yeah. Apparently that should have been 220, but I said 200 and I wrote 200, so it is 200.
Okay. Thanks.
And it's 30 days to pay.
Okay. Thank you.
This is Sierra Jelani, and she has no sound. There we go.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. This is 25 BE0 2123. It's a citation that was issued back on the 26th of April, almost noon, 11 Mile and Bacon area of Berkeley. We're operating while using a mobile electronic device. You can admit or deny responsibility, or you can admit responsibility with an explanation. How do you wish to proceed?
Well, first off, I would like to say that I was
I'd like you to answer the question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Admitting or denying responsibility for the infraction?
I'm denying it.
Okay. Please raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this matter will be the truth?
I do.
I do, Your Honor.
The sergeant will testify first, please.
Your Honor, on April 26th, at approximately 12:27 in the afternoon, I was westbound on 11 Mile from Bacon. I could see the vehicle driven by Ms. Galani, which was a blue Ford Escape behind me, and I could see the vehicle swing. I can also see her looking down at the same time. Her vehicle is basically going from the end of the lane to the other end of the lane marker. Slowed down to let her pass. As she approached my side, I could see that she was holding her cell phone in her hand. At that point, she made contact with me and dropped the phone down. Stopped her for the violation of using her mobile device. At that point, she had her phone in her lap. When I made contact with her, explained that reason for the stop, and she said that she was just looking at her phone for a hot second to order food. Also have body cam video of the interaction with her where she admits to the use of the phone. I did issue a citation for using the mobile electronic device while driving.
Thank you. Ms. Jelani?
So, I was driving normally perfectly fine. The only reason why I swerved is because I dropped something, a perfume dropped, and the cop was making me nervous. You see, I'm already in big trouble. You know, I'm not trying to stir nothing. No, like I see a cop next to me. I'm not gonna be on my phone. I'm not gonna do something for me to get a ticket. I was scared the whole time when the cop was next to me. I was praying and hoping he wouldn't pull me over because I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't on my phone. I was gonna order food, but I was like, you know what? I'll just put my phone away and I'll just order when I get there because I was just gonna order fries, and usually fries don't take long. I was already scared, like I said. I don't want to pay another fine. I'm already paying fines. Like when there's a cop next to me, I get very scared for some reason. I'm very scared of cops. And then out of nowhere, he just put his sirens on, and I was very confused on why he was pulling me over because I was not operating my phone. When he came up to me, I was very, very nervous. So I said whatever, just for him to leave me alone. But
You got so nervous you told him something that wasn't true?
Because
why would you lie to him?
I wasn't.
Why would you lie to him?
No, I wasn't lying to him.
You told him the truth.
No, just wait.
Did you tell him the truth or not?
The thing is.
Did you tell him the truth or not?
Yes, I was telling him the truth.
Did you tell him the truth or not? That's a yes or a no.
I was telling him the truth. I wasn't on my phone.
You told him that you were using it only for a hot second, did you not?
Yeah, I just told you right now that I was using it for just a 1 second, and then I put it away. I was like, I'll just order food when I get there because I'll order fries because they usually don't take long. Because I was on my lunch break. And I mean, I'm a female. When I see a cop, I get very scared. As you can see, I'm a Muslim woman, so I get very scared when there's a cop. And I'm already very traumatized from past experience. So when I seen him, he just came up to my car, and I was already crying because I didn't want a ticket, and I wasn't doing anything wrong. When I swerved.
Still on probation? Are you still on probation?
Yes, Your Honor. That's why I don't want any you know.
The way to avoid fines and the way to avoid convictions is to comply with the law. It's not to ask other people to close their eyes and ignore something. The fine on this matter, you're clearly responsible. You've admitted the phone was in your hand and you had it. You were using it for a quote unquote hot second. Well, that's the violation. You are responsible. The fine is $200. It can be paid online or by mail, or it can be paid at the courthouse counter.
But I wasn't operating it. I had it in my hand. And then when I seen the cop. Well, I mean, I'm broke.
Ms. Magnum, if you would unmute, please.
Okay, I'm unmuted. I'm sorry.
Okay. This is 25 RO 02061 and 2061A. One ticket was issued, both of them on the same day, and that day being the 8th of April, about 11:58 in the evening on Woodward Avenue near Catalpa. The first ticket was issued for violation of the minimum speed concept, and the other ticket was issued for defective tires. You have the right to admit or to deny responsibility as to either or both, or to admit responsibility with an explanation. As to the minimum speed citation, do you wish to admit, to deny, or to admit with an explanation?
Yes, I was doing the minimum speed because my flashes were on, and that was because I had a flat in one of my tires.
You had a flat and the flashers on.
I'm sorry.
Saying you said your flashers were on?
Yeah, so I had on my emergency blinkers because I had a flat, and we were trying to get to where there was air for our tires. So we had the blinkers on, and obviously we would have been going a lower speed than normal.
Well, sure. At midnight.
So yes.
How long had you been driving like that?
You mean with my tire?
Oh, I mean that night.
Oh,
How long were you driving
we
on the
didn't know.
flat?
Just we didn't know we had a flat, so I'm gonna say we knew for about maybe a mile or two, and we couldn't find a gas station. We were door dashing, so we had to everywhere that we go. When you're door dashing, you don't necessarily know where their local gas station or anything else is. So we were trying to locate one during that time. When the officer pulled me over, I told him the same thing, and that's when he decided he was going to write a ticket for some extra stuff because there was nothing wrong with any of my other tires except the one I mentioned.
So you didn't know you had a flat?
No, I'm not saying that. You asked
Yeah,
me
you
when did
did.
I know? No, you asked me when did I know? And I said we knew for about a mile or whatever before we were pulled over because we were trying to locate a gas station.
What about the one you passed a mile south of that?
So we don't remember passing the gas station. As I stated, we were door dashing. So we're not aware of where the gas stations are. We were looking for one, and that's just my explanation. That's what happened.
Well, there's a gas station.
There may be, Your Honor, but I wouldn't have known that. We're once again, that's just where we're door
It's
dashing.
okay to look around and to be aware of your surroundings. You don't have to rely on what you're.
That's right. And so obviously we didn't see it. So, that's it. You asked me what was going on, and that's all I can tell you. It's the truth for us.
Okay, so you're basically admitting that you were driving at a very slow.
Yes.
28 miles an hour.
Yes. Yep. On a flat.
The basic speed law requires that a driver drives a reasonable and prudent speed. Reasonable and prudent speed under some circumstances can be considerably less than the speed limit. It's not reasonable and prudent to drive miles on a flat at midnight.
Well, you can't plan a flat, so we did have to try to
No, but
to
you
a
can
gas
stop
station.
at the first gas station.
Well, we didn't see that. You asked, and I've let you know we didn't. I can't change what's the truth. So we're in
No,
court,
you
and I'm
can't.
telling you the truth.
And the tires were bald?
That's what he's saying. I have disagreed with that. So
Okay,
you
so
asked
you're
me two
denying
different
that.
statements.
You are
Yes, that
denying
one.
that.
Yes, that. Yes. I do admit one was flat.
I'm going to ask you to raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes. Oh.
And the officer will testify first, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On the said date and time, myself and Officer Gasto were driving southbound on Woodward from 14 Mile area to 13 Mile when we observed the Jeep Cherokee driving southbound as well. The vehicle was driving extremely slow to where we clocked them and paced them at 28 miles an hour driving through there. We observed multiple tires that appeared to be low. Obviously, we didn't have a tire gauge on us, so we can't state what the PSI is of those tires. But when we initiated the traffic stop, we went out and looked, and I put my finger on the tires, and there was no tread on multiple tires to even stop my fingers from catching on them.
What about the hazards, the hazard lights?
I can't recall if she had hazards on. I don't remember if she had a tire that was extremely flat to where you could hear a flat tire, you know, someone driving on it, but I do remember them being low.
And what was the approximate speed?
It was under 30, so like 28 miles an hour, around that.
Ms. Magnum, it's your turn now, please.
Okay, so you just want me to say what occurred?
Well, let's start with the defective tire issue, and then you can go on. What occurred?
So you mean the speed I was driving at the
I mean the defective tire issue.
tire? So we had a flat.
Of all tires.
So that's his statement. I don't have any defective tires. And that was my statement earlier. I had one tire that was flat. And that, like I said, that's the only thing they could have pulled us over for, because he could not observe treads while we're rolling down the street, even at 28, as he stated. When he pulled us over, we thought they were pulling us over to help us because we had our flags, our hazards on. And that's what I said to the officer when he did pull us over. He instead let me know that we were driving too far under the speed limit, and he wanted to know what was going on. It is at that time that I told them that my tire was flat, and I'm sure they were wearing body cams, so it should show that. I told them that my tire was flat. And he said, well, you can't be driving like that. I said, well, we have to get to somewhere to get air. But it was another officer with him, not just him. And at that time, he decided to have me pulled to the side, get my license registration. He then wrote a ticket for, I guess, both of those citations at that time. Never did he put his finger on, go around my vehicle and put his finger on all four tires. That certainly did not happen either.
So never did he put his finger on all four of your tires?
He didn't go around and check my tires at all. He looked at them.
But you just said never did he put his finger on all four of my tires. So are you saying that he did check three of them?
No, I'm saying never did. So he stated that he walked around the vehicle and checked all four. And my response to that is no, he did not check all four. He didn't check any of them. What I just said is he did a visual observation. That's what I saw him doing. And I have a witness here who was in the car that night. I can't understand for the life of me why this is being treated so criminal that we got a flat and put on our hazard so everyone could know and it wouldn't cause an accident.
Well, to begin with, the officer didn't see a flat. He saw tires that were very low. The officer didn't see the hazards on.
He said he can't remember, Your Honor, whether they
He
were
said he
on or off.
didn't remember seeing them on.
Right.
He also testified that your speed was just under 30 miles an hour. The citation says 28 is the speed at which you were measured. A driver who's driving on a flat tire is not going to be going 28 miles an hour. They're going to be going about 5 miles an hour. 28 miles an hour isn't how a driver would do it if they were strictly a flat. And the distance that you testified, that you mentioned before when you were speaking, was a mile or two, and you would have passed several gas stations in that time if you were looking.
We were looking, Your Honor.
Were defective, and
we were looking, Your Honor.
Responsible on that matter. The fine on defective tires is 130. The fine on the minimum speed violation is also 130.
So why are we getting a fine on defective tires?
Because you violated the statute.
May I speak, Your Honor? Am I allowed to? Am I allowed to ask a question?
Have you stopped?
I've stopped to wait for your response.
What is your question?
Okay, What I think is unfair and unjust and basically doesn't really seem legal at all is that
That doesn't
you're
sound like a
ticketing
question,
me.
ma'am.
Okay, you're ticketing
Ma'am,
me
is that a
on,
question?
yes, you are ticketing
What
me on
question do you
defect.
have?
I'm trying to act, and
No,
I'll
you're
have
trying to
to,
say something. Please
I
ask the
am, but you
question.
Your Honor, you keep interrupting me. I don't
Ask
know
a
if this is
question,
a
lady.
scare tactic.
I'm not scaring anybody. Ask a question.
Okay, and so here's my question. You have ticketed me for a defective tire, correct?
No, I didn't issue a ticket.
No, I mean, you're gonna issue a fine now based on that. And he has
Yeah, I
provided no
already did.
proof. That's great. He has provided no proof that I've had a defective tire. So you're just gonna go by what he says? Is
No,
that
he
how the
did
legal
provide
justice
proof, ma'am.
system works?
He did provide proof.
He has not.
He has too.
He made a statement and I made a statement and you chose who
He
you believe.
testified under oath.
I did too.
Yep.
So how do you decide who you believe? Isn't evidence supposed to be the American way?
I don't know about what's supposed to be the American way.
Okay.
And how it relates to you having a flat tire.
Well,
in
I would like
Woodward.
to file an
But the
appeal to this
bottom line
decision.
is, now, are you going to let me answer your question?
Yes, Your Honor.
You asked how I'm deciding. I don't think your testimony is credible. I don't
Okay.
think somebody with a flat tire is going to be driving 28 miles an hour down Woodward at midnight.
And that's his testimony that
And
I was
that you're
driving
flat
28.
for. That is his testimony. The fine on each of these is $130.
Okay,
They can
I'd
be
like
paid
to appeal.
online or by mail.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd like to appeal the decision.
You can do whatever you like to do, but you're going
Yes.
to do it someplace else. We're
That's
done.
okay. You have a blessed day.
Yeah, she hasn't changed from the traffic stop.
8 miles an hour flat.
So each court had somebody that was whining about their case. You know, the one in Judge McNally's court, that woman did not want to give up her financial information because it was a traffic accident, I believe. And she lost the suit. It was a small claim suit. And she doesn't want to have to pay for the traffic accident that she was in. And I gather she probably didn't have insurance at the time. And so that's why it went to court. But all the other ones just wanted to whine. They wanted to whine about their ticket, their charges. They don't think they deserved their ticket. They couldn't pay their ticket. They were just all whiners. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.